What if your body isn't actually broken by aging? What if instead it's just missing the right chemical signals to heal itself overnight? In this explainer, we are completely reframing how we look at getting older. Instead of just kind of accepting fatigue and stiffness as some inevitable decline, we're going to look at a wildly effective yet surprising nighttime recovery tool: extra virgin olive oil.
Welcome to the Nighttime Miracle, why you should drink olive oil before bed. Today, we're taking olive oil out of the kitchen pantry and shifting it from, well, a simple salad dressing into a powerful, science-backed cellular repair tool. Your pantry is absolutely about to get an upgrade.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're gonna start with the overnight healing secret. Then we'll look at fixing sleep and joints, move on to heart and metabolism protection, rebuilding gut and muscle, the nighttime brain detox, and finally, wrap it up with your daily golden protocol.
All right, part 1, the overnight healing secret, your body's hidden night shift.
So during deep sleep, that's when your body does its absolute deepest healing. Your brain clears waste, your muscles rebuild, and your blood vessels repair themselves. But as we get older, we often lose this high-quality recovery because of a sneaky little thing called neuroinflammation. Basically, think of this low-grade chronic brain inflammation like a smoky factory. At night, the factory workers, your brain cells, they just can't do their repair jobs properly because they're literally choking on the smoke. And its inflammatory fire directly disrupts your production of sleep-inducing melatonin, which completely fragments your rest.
Moving on to section 2, fixing sleep and joints, cooling the biological fire.
The impact of cooling down this fire is actually super measurable. Researchers noted a massive 28% improvement in sleep continuity when people consumed olive oil polyphenols in the evening, meaning they woke up way less frequently and spent much more time in that deep restorative sleep phase. Why does this happen? Well, it's because of a specific compound in olive oil called oleocanthal. It functions biochemically exactly like ibuprofen. It gently inhibits those inflammatory enzymes, but completely without any of the gut damage that makes traditional medications so tricky for older adults. And you know what? That exact same anti-inflammatory power extends right down to your joints. We're talking a 41% reduction in pain scores and a 38% improvement in mobility. That is huge. Olive oil pulls this off by specifically blocking an inflammatory signal called IL-1 beta. Think of IL-1 beta as the exact chemical messenger that tells your body to break down and destroy joint cartilage. Shut off the signal, save the joint. So the crucial point is how we actually apply this. Here is a really actionable protocol for you. Try taking 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil about 30 to 45 minutes before bed. And hey, quick tip, you want the kind that gives you a little peppery bite at the back of your throat. That bite, that's the healing oleocanthal doing its thing. To make it even better, pair it with tart cherries for a robust melatonin synergy boost, or maybe some warm lemon water, which gives you the vitamin C essential for supporting joint collagen. Okay, section 3, heart and metabolism protection. The Midnight Managers. Now, while you're fast asleep, your cardiovascular system is actually facing its biggest challenges of the day, especially in that window between 3 and 6 a.m. That early morning stretch is when blood pressure naturally surges and arterial stiffness is at its absolute peak. Because of this timing, understanding cholesterol is vital. You've got unoxidized LDL, which is relatively harmless. It just circulates normally. But then you have oxidized LDL. That's the dangerous stuff that embeds right into your arterial walls and builds up those nasty plaques. Well, your liver does its heavy lifting for cholesterol regulation right between midnight and 3 a.m. So by having that olive oil right before bed, the oleic acid inside it specifically helps knock down that dangerous oxidized LDL by 22%, exactly when the liver is clocking in for its night shift. The real-world impact of this science is just profound. Take Margaret, for instance. She's a 74-year-old patient whose stubborn cholesterol just wasn't budging, no matter how much she changed her diet. Her cardiologist was actually pushing pretty hard for statin therapy. But she decided to add just 1 single teaspoon of high-quality extra virgin olive oil to her nightly routine. 8 months later, her oxidized LDL dropped noticeably, her nighttime blood pressure improved, and she said something that really stuck with me. She said, "I feel like I gave my heart a second chance." But it doesn't stop at the heart. Olive oil actually acts like this incredible metabolic shield overnight. It tackles something called the dawn phenomenon, which is this dangerous blood glucose surge that tends to hit between 4 and 8 a.m. for folks dealing with insulin resistance. It also lowers your post-meal blood glucose response by up to 22% and genuinely improves the mitochondrial efficiency of your aging cells. If you want a real synergy boost here, try pairing your nighttime olive oil with a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar mixed into some warm water. I mean, if you don't mind the taste, right? It powerfully stabilizes that overnight blood sugar. All right, moving to section 4, rebuilding gut and muscle, the foundation of strength. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this stark, kind of hidden contrast in how we age. Look at this data. Adults over 70 experience a startling 35% loss in gut microbial diversity compared to when they were in their 30s. And that loss, that drives systemic inflammation throughout your entire body. But extra virgin olive oil steps in as a phenomenal prebiotic. Its polyphenols actually travel completely intact all the way down to your large intestine, where they selectively feed the good bacteria overnight while simultaneously suppressing the harmful ones. Pretty amazing. And cooling off that gut inflammation actually helps with another sneaky condition called anabolic resistance. This is a crazy phenomenon where your aging muscles basically become hard of hearing. They produce this totally blunted response to the protein you eat. It's actually the hidden cause of sarcopenia, and it's exactly why adults tend to lose about 1 to 2% of their muscle mass every single year after age 60. But remarkably, those olive oil polyphenols step in and literally stimulate the production of growth hormones like IGF-1. It's essentially taking the biological brakes right off your muscle growth. Just to ground all this dense science for a second, let's look at Robert. He's a 71-year-old retired firefighter who had lost a pretty significant amount of grip strength over the years. Well, after starting a nightly olive oil and protein protocol along with some light resistance training, the guy regained 4 solid pounds of lean muscle. His quote really says it all. He told us he, quote, carried all the grocery bags from the car in one trip for the first time in 3 years. Talk about taking back your physical independence. Up next, section 5, the nighttime brain detox, clearing the smoke. Okay, you absolutely need to know about the glymphatic system. This is one of the most crucial neuroscience discoveries out there. It's basically your brain's overnight self-cleaning wash cycle. Seriously, while you sleep, your brain cells literally shrink down slightly. This allows your spinal fluid to just rush in and flush out all the metabolic waste, including those toxic beta amyloid proteins. And those are the exact same proteins that form plaques in Alzheimer's disease. But listen carefully, this wash cycle only operates efficiently when you are in deep sleep. Get this, researchers found that the oleocanthal and extra virgin olive oil actually stimulates this exact brain-clearing mechanism. We are looking at a completely remarkable 50% increase in toxic protein clearance. Half again as much waste just flushed right out. And this brilliantly illustrates how you can combine 3 incredibly simple steps into the ultimate nighttime brain protection protocol. First, drink 1 tablespoon of that high polyphenol olive oil 30 minutes before sleep. Second, pair it with some blueberries or maybe some turmeric almond milk to further stop those plaques from clumping together. And finally, this one's so easy. Just sleep in a lateral or side position. Research shows that just sleeping on your side actually increases the glymphatic system's clearance by another 25%. The power of this nighttime routine actually gave 78-year-old Eleanor her life back. You see, she had a strong family history of Alzheimer's, and she was absolutely terrified. She was just, sitting around waiting for it to happen to her too. But after adopting this exact protocol, her memory stayed super sharp, her sleep improved dramatically, and she shared this incredibly powerful realization with us: I feel like I'm actually fighting back. She took total control of her nightly routine and her health. Finally, section 6, your daily golden protocol, taking back your independence. Look, taking back your physical independence does not require a pharmacy, and it doesn't require some dramatic, exhausting life overhaul. In fact, this whole intervention costs less than $1 a day. You might even want to screenshot this slide to personalize your own routine later. If your main target is digestion and gut health, just pair your olive oil with a nice cup of chamomile tea. Focusing on your heart and arteries, pair it with a small square of 85% dark chocolate. Sounds great, right? And for muscle growth, grab a slow-releasing protein like Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. Just make sure to time it perfectly for about 30 minutes before your head hits the pillow. We have seen how just a single, incredibly natural ingredient can trigger overnight healing across literally your entire body. So I want to leave you with a provocative question to really think about tonight. Will you just accept aging as this inevitable steady decline? Or will you use a single tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil to give your body the exact tools it needs to fight back tonight? The choice, the knowledge, and honestly the power is entirely yours.